Greetings, everybody. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to episode 14 of Going Medieval, which originally streamed live on Twitch. So towards the end of the last stream, it was decided that we do away with what was the barracks, which shared a bedroom space for everybody, into a mountain chalet sort of system here, so that everybody has their own bedrooms. It's very wood intensive, but it will make people a little bit happier. And then we turned the old barracks into rival churches, so that the people in the colony here are pretty happy on average. As you can see, whoa, look at all that green. Look at all that green. What we're going to be working on at the start of the stream is going to be left up to poll, and then I'm actually going to start to open up suggestions by all of you. So here's the initial poll. I know I usually don't jump into a poll so early, but I figured I would. So we have 6 options here. Focus on arms and armor. Plan out a better farmland. Right now, my farmland is just sort of strewn about. Plan out a better orchard, because at the moment, it's just trees in a gully. Improve the battlements. Clean up the chalet houses. So, or chalet houses. So that I would replace the non-earthen, or the earthen walls with non-earthen walls, you know, that kind of thing. Or focus on research. So leaving up where we left off, we have a lot of the research done, but not a lot of weapons and armor, and still missing some other things here and there. So that will be left up to you. And I think what I'm going to do is, as you vote, I'll start to think about working on that kind of stuff. So the settlers are currently idle, which doesn't surprise me at all. There is actually not a lot of work to be done in the winter here because of how productive we are. And Curious Hermit and Zani Zaratin. I think I got that right. Or Zani Zaradin. Thank you for the resubs. And Cowlick, thank you for the bits. Always the perpetual Cowlick. So looking at the resources of our colony, I did just mention that we burn a whole lot of wood to keep the bedrooms warm. Now currently we don't have a cold snap or anything like that. At the end of last stream, we had a lot of people keeling over due to hypothermia, which was rather hilarious, but kind of unfortunate. And that was a result of, honestly, part of me says it was like a game bug because it was hilariously ill-timed. So I'm not really sure what that was about, but whatever the case may be, it was pretty funny. All right. It looks as if planning out better farmland and focusing on arms and armor are going to be competing as the dual sort of goals of ours. And I'm pretty sure I could do both at the same time. So in terms of farmland, if you take a look here, because of how mountainous and rocky it is, there is a very limited amount of space for said farm, right? One of the things we might be able to do, which I'm going to prototype test here, is maybe flatten things out. I'm not really sure that if below dirt is more dirt, but if that is indeed the case, it kind of looks, well, I don't know, we'll see. But what I want to do is I want to design it so that it appears as if it is defensible, the farmland that is, because that would be the, one of the most important things for a colony to be able to do is to feed itself and protect itself. So in terms of protecting itself, or rather in terms of arms and armor, there's some trade-offs to be done. So if we start investing in leather armor for people to wear, like this stuff, one of the advantages, of course, is that if we get attacked, we're better protected. One of the disadvantages is movement speed. So if we take a look at the... let's make some leather armor here and see if it's something that we're going to want everybody to wear all the time, or if it's only something that we throw on during raids, or if only a certain subset of our people wear it. Because there's a lot of different options here. And then this armor queue, leather armor queue here will be for Marauder, I think. Yep, so Marauder is already working on that. Right, buddy? Okay, so underneath that dirt was limestone. So terraforming is likely not the option for better farmland. So I think the best thing that we could do is to spread out the farm stuff so there's just a little bit of crop everywhere. And maybe ideally trying to have it be nice and rectangular. And then roaded off. So what I want to do for this, because it will look a little bit more organic, is to put down clay walls. The issue, of course, with that is we don't have... Do we have no clay at all? Or just very little clay? So one of the ways to get clay is to mine out some of this rocky soil because it yields clay and limestone. So I'm going to do a little bit of terraforming in order to design a nice farmland. And let me update the goal and priorities up top. Focus on arms, armor, and farm plot planning. So this here will be my cabbage field. And then this cabbage field will be surrounded by limestone block floors for its superior traversal speed. And we're going to plan out the other farms just like that. So small little plots, modest plots, strategically located near our walls, but outside of it. And that is actually something that you would typically see in these times. You wouldn't tie up your inside your battlements and defenses with farmland. You would build them outdoors. Yeah, certainly you would have it outside of the walls of the castle. And then inside the castle, you would just stockpile the resources that you thought you would need to defend against prolonged sieges. Now, there's no such thing as prolonged sieges in this game, but we can roleplay. We can pretend. So that is a flax plot and a cabbage plot. Does it say farmer? Arms, armor, and farm plot. No, I did type it right. Okay, I don't believe we've made any of the leather armor yet, but we have plenty of leather. We have 433, so that shouldn't be an issue for us to obtain. And let me hide that pole. After I spent a little bit of time working on this, I think what I'm going to end up doing is opening up the suggestion box to all of you so that you can suggest projects and then we'll vote on the ones that are suggested by you all. Instead of having me make decisions or anything like that. Alright, so this old field here is going to become maybe carrots or barley. I'm going to do barley. I don't think I have a lot of barley seeds, but a drunk populace is a happy populace, is it not? Let's delete this. This could become some herbs. I might actually have 2 herb gardens, because herbs, of course, are pretty useful for both medicine and for booze. I may end up moving this block stair so it doesn't overlap with the block floor, but it might be okay. We'll say it's stylized or something. And then let's put carrots, because I don't have too many carrots. Put carrots in this spot. Now, there's no way to, like, terraform like there are in other games where you can, like, place dirt. So we're sort of stuck with the dimensions that we're given, and that's the best I could do. They're not sowing the new fields because it is currently winter, so this is all planning for when it is warmer. Way too cold for that at the moment. I think what I will do is delete this natural dirt ramp and replace that with block stairs in probably 2 different locations. Probably block stairs here as well. Digging that out and then putting block floors there. Functionally, the amount of crops that we get out of this project won't be more than, you know, it's not like we're gaining more farmland or anything like that. It just becomes a lot more aesthetic. Oh, Dr. Trouble. I'm going to go around the long way. All right. That's a good start. Will certainly look prettier, that's for sure. All right, how about the armor? Because I know arms and armor are still one of them. So, Marauder's been working on it. So we'll leave him be to work on that. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the viewer submitted ideas inbox for channel points. And you all can suggest goals, and I may or may not veto them. I'll just give you warning ahead of time that that if I don't think it fits within the lore and design of this castle, I'll refund you. I wonder if it would be worth trying to produce ice in the future so that we can have ice blocks near the food shelves. One of the issues, of course, with the game is until you have preserved food, tier 2, which doesn't really spoil, it is challenging to keep your food from spoiling, and there is really no need to have your Great Hall be of a certain temperature. So you could probably deep freeze your Great Hall, and it's just fine. It would keep people warm and or keep the food cold, and it wouldn't really matter if the people were warm, because it's not like they would immediately die or anything like that. Oh, here we go with the snow again. Just can't get away from Jack Frost. No matter how hard we try. I kind of like the squared look. Well, now I have no idea what's going on with the construction project because it is now under snow. So it will hypothetically look good when we're all done. What is Icarus mining down there? Oh, right, the path that we had designated. That has actually come a pretty good way. We're only one tile away from being done. Then I have to wall it up where it drops into the root cellar. I'm finding it a little difficult to, like, interpret what this looks like. It's one of the issues with Z-level games, is it can be pretty challenging as to imagine what it might look like. Now, I'm not really sure what crops to focus on. I mean, we do have a lot of flax, and flax is pretty important, but short of flax, if we're trying to work on arms and armor, none of these sort of arms and armor crops are going to matter, right? It's all leather and ingots and the like, so that's something we really have to figure out is what is going to be important for us to even plant in the first place, because I honestly don't really have an answer to that. What I do know is that, unlike previous streams, I actually remember to turn on a raffle timer for this overlay, so when we do have someone to be able to be raffled off, I can actually do that for once. So, how do you guys feel about the raised pathing? I know that there's snow, so it's really hard to and difficult to actually see what that looks like, but maybe I'm going to poll you all about how you feel about the raised pathing, whether I continue the trend with the rest of the crops or just like leave it be. Now, did we dig out the whole... Yeah, I guess we did. It's really hard to tell because it got filled in. But now we can walk all the way around the kitchen. And it's all excavated. That also could be where we put in future bedrooms. Or some other structure. Alright, so how are we doing on leather armor? It looks like we made the leather armor. And let's see if we can't find it. Now, I think it would be wise for me to start investing in, like, weapon racks. And places specifically for armor. So that we know where it is and we can keep track of what we have. That would be a good project. But someone wore the armor, and I don't know who threw it on. Let me... Oh, yeah, here we go. Nope, that's definitely not it, because that's very damaged. I don't know where the armor went. Unless it was flimsy and then we broke it down. Yeah, so that could also be another project, is to get an armory built. To keep track of our arms and armor. It wouldn't be too unreasonable. Move the churches 1 square to the left. It's a lot of work for one little project. But hey, I'll leave it. That's what you guys want. Totally fine by me. So another thing that I'm going to need to do is to mine up more clay. So let's go ahead and mine out some of these rocky soil for clay. I do like the look of the clay walls as a way to elevate the terrain, because it looks a lot more natural than the stone. I don't want it to stand out so ridiculously. Another field that I need, so we have barley, herbs, beets, carrots, cabbage, flax. I need a red currant if we're going to do rough wine as a method to keep people happy. So where did that leather armor go? For real. I guess one thing I could do is leave the leather armor here in this stockroom. So we'll put a stockpile here. Only, let's say, 98 to full. Hit point. Any quality's fine. It's going to be very high for... where is the... Warfare. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. All right, so all armor is going to go there. In fact, weapons and shields too. So arms and armor. And that way, anything that we craft should be full hit points and get left here in this little stock room. And I can make this look nicer, but at least that will allow me to keep track of the crafts that we've made. They're very sad that I'm making them work outside in the cold. I think the promise of, it will be pretty when you're done, is not enough. And yeah, they're suffering from cold. Taking a look at the research here. I suppose I can start polling for what research to do next. So we've got Armorer. Armorer 2 unlocks Mail. We've got Shields 2, which really should be called Shields 1, because there is no Shields 1. And that unlocks the Wooden Shield. Those lead to Plate Armor and the Tower Shield. Then Preserving Food, which gives you basically like packaged meals that don't spoil very quickly, or at all, I think. And then things we've overlooked is clay brick making, if you think that we need that. Furniture 2 gives grander furniture, candelabras, larger tables, chests. There's also ice making, which if we got now, we might not be able to really take advantage of it because it's almost the end of winter. We have 2 more days of winter, but that's fine. We can always have that for next winter season. Axes, maces, swords, so that unlocks one-handed and two-handed axes, one-handed, two-handed maces, one-handed, two-handed swords, or two-handed swords, or whatever, long sword. Then there's wooden weaponry, which gives you the one- and two-handed flails. And crossbows 2, which is the most, the hardest to wield, but most devastating ranged weapon. So, I'll leave you out on that. And then we're going to have you polled on whether or not you like the pathway raise or not. Because if you do, I'll just go and do the variations for all of them, and if you don't, I'll ignore it. So what other natural resources do we have out here other than lumber? Not a whole lot. Most of the wild crops have been harvested. I will hunt those deer, though. Some ivy for sticks, which we certainly don't need. What do I think about the in-game music and FX? I rather like it, except for when the music and the sound effects overlap with one another. That's a little annoying. But other than the rare occasions when that happens, music's pretty good. I should have just been batching these, I guess. A little faster. Watch all of you go, hey, we don't like it. Put it back. I can see that happening. It would be easy to put back because I could just select all and edit the variation. Oh, this should be double-sided. Alright, looks like preserving food 2 seems to be leading. There is also, I guess it's starting to get warm enough to sow crop. Cool. So this is the last of the mining to do for whatever clay walls we have left that are necessary. And if we wanted preserving food, we would need to get 20 textbooks. Now, did the stockpile of... Oh yeah, it did work. There it is. Fine leather helmet. Now, the only issue with the armors, or specifically the helmets, is when you wear them, you can't wear something that would otherwise keep you warm. So, in the extreme winter, it might be a little prohibitive to wear them. But we'll see. We'll see what you guys think. So who else is trying to do research? I think what I'll do is Dr. Trouble. I'm going to have you designated more for research. And then Chaotic Snow, I'm going to do the same for you as well. That does mean that I'm going to have fewer growers. But I think that pushing to preserving food would be useful. Maybe. I feel like at this point, we sort of have a maturing... I mean, I know that as far as regional influence, we're already 100%. But this castle here, I think, is getting to look a little matured comparatively to what it was just a few hours ago. Maybe. Where we can start working on the aesthetics of it. Making it look crisp and clean. Okay, so preserving food. Should I have the edged walkways? I don't know. Maybe you have an opinion. Maybe I'm wrong about this all along. So we'll work on getting preserved food. I'm eager for the season to switch over to spring because the constant crow noises, not a huge fan of that. The other thing I think that might look nice out here is if we had something like a standalone banner or a one-sided banner. Just a way to spruce up the area. Maybe even a tall banner. Idle settlers, are you really? Icarus. Have to keep an eye on him. Oh, so there's the fine leather armor. And I think... what I could do is I could have everyone drop their armor and then reassign depending on, you know, the hit points that are left and the quality. I like it. Okay, it looks like you guys like the edge walkways. I can get behind that too. Feel like we sowed all our crops and then it's just like, oh, guess what? It's too cold. We're gonna kill off all your seeds. That actually might be the case, and I'd have to go run a trade run to a neighboring territory to buy seeds. That would be annoying, I think. Oh, I selected the wrong thing. All right. Poles come in. Looks like we're going to have the edge walkways. I'll just call that. Nobody doesn't want that. Or everybody wants that. Avoid the double negatives. You got it, guys. Now, maybe at some point I'll end up sprucing up the orchard as well. Setting it up so that they're laid out orderly like an arboretum or something like that. You just joined, it looks like in-game base? A little bit. Just a little bit. Alright, winner. Please just go away. Don't kill my crops. So Marauder's working in the arms and armor. He's going to try to get armor for everybody. Who should wear armor? Okay, I'm typing up some options here. If my brain and my fingers would cooperate. So I'm almost done with all the options. They're pretty expansive. All right, there we go. 5 different options. So who should wear armor? Everyone, all the time. So the advantage of that would be I wouldn't really have to worry about throwing it on or taking it off in or outside of combat. We do have an armor slot here, as you can see. And right now, only Elda, the brawler, the single person that has a sword in our colony, uses armor. So if we put on armor, there's only this disadvantage of movement quality, movement speed, if in fact we're wearing armor that slows us down. Mail and plate armor would, of course. Everyone only in combat, so everybody wears armor. I guess there's a few options left off, but everybody wears armor, but I'll throw it on in combat. Brawlers all the time, brawlers during combat, or brawlers and hunters all the time. So there's a whole bunch of different options there. And I might even change up some of the options where I interpret that, like, you guys want me to have the brawlers always wear their armor and everybody else wear it during combat or some iteration like that. It's weird that I'd have ripe apple trees at this stage. That seems very strange to me. But okay. Alright, research. Still working on the textbooks. And Marauder is definitely working on trying to get the armor rolled out. So another thing that I need to do to make sure that we have the leather, if in fact everybody's going to get armor, is to hunt whenever there's something to be hunted. So I'm going to hunt a bunch of hair here. Doesn't really yield a lot of material, but it will also help to get the bowman skilled. So I think what I'll do is this will be the Great Animal Harvest. So everybody but Elda is going to go hunt. It also wouldn't be... Oh, a cold snap. Great. Second to last day of winter, and it's gonna kill everyone. Okay, you know all you people that were, like, hunting hares? I think we can stop that, because, you should probably be closer to the home. Okay. So it was a mix of everyone all the time and everyone only during combat. So I'm going to have a bit of a runoff tiebreaker here between those two top options. So there you go. And it is frighteningly cold, right, dude? Sujuka, by the way, thank you for the resub. Oh, he's looking for a treat. Here you go, dude. I don't trick my Yoda. My lord, what am I going to do with all this ash? I have 1,900 or 19,000 ash. Oh. Yeah. I think what I will do is leave this building open so it gets destroyed on its own. And that way, I don't really have to worry about ash. Hay probably... Oh, well, we're moving the hay out. So, at some point, maybe I relocate the dump. Let's call it that. Mixed soap. I believe ash is going to have, like, a future use for, like, pottery and glazing or something like that, but it doesn't really have any uses as far as I know now. Means it's just a byproduct. It's trash. Alright, it's pretty cold. Some places out here, it has like different external temperatures, but in every case, it's like near -40. So we shouldn't venture too far from home. Here's our town dump. And everybody only during combat. Now, should brawlers wear armor all the time? Or only during combat? So now, I think all of the ranged will only throw on the armor during combat, but then the other question is, what about all the other gear? What about the ones that are use swords? See what you guys think. It's a pity I don't have enclosed tunnels that connect the upper rooms. We could, if it was voted on, but I think it would... Well, it would definitely alter the aesthetic of the colony, for sure. I mean, that much is obvious, because if you start making it look like some sort of tunnel, something or another, the way it's looking now is obviously going to change. But I would do it if it got voted on, which is generally my answer. Sure, if it's proposed as a project and desired by everybody, happy to comply. It's in centigrade? So, -40 Celsius or centigrade is the same as -40 Fahrenheit. They're no different. It's the one time the two temperature match up. So, yeah. Doesn't matter. Well, okay, if it was -40 Kelvin, then you've violated some fundamental physics, and yeah, everybody would be dead. But in terms of Celsius or Fahrenheit, doesn't make much difference. -40 is the same. Now let's put some red currant farmland down as well, so we can have rough wine if we want it. It's like, doesn't look cold, but it still is frighteningly cold. I don't know what to do with my my camera color here anymore. The game's saying it's... The graphics are saying it's warm, and the temperature gauge says it'll turn into an icicle. So I don't think any of my crops died, fortunately, because that was indeed a risk. But we managed to keep them. And I also think that it would be wise for me to just destroy all the floors here, so that this stuff decays faster. Because having it have unwanted ground type will decay it quick. So, trying to throw out the trash, in other words. Okay, so everybody only wears armor during combat. Got it. One of the things I'm going to do is ditch Elda's armor. And there it is. And then I think perhaps we get an armory project in the future. I'm not going to assume that that's something you're going to vote on, but it'd be good to have a designated place for the armor so that when we need to wear it, we can wear it at a moment's notice. Some of the pathways can be too wide. Just looks a bit nicer, I think. So now this stuff is going to rot quickly because of ground type. And it's unroofed and all that. So we'll get rid of the unwanted trash. And that way we don't have a structure outside of the walls, which just looks strange. Alright, in terms of research, preserving food is... man, we don't have any additional textbooks. It is coming slow. Marauder's been doing an okay job here. There is multiple fine leather armors. Now, Gamison's, I'm going to have him make one of those. They require a lot more resources, so... having one might be good, but I don't know about outfitting everyone with one. Oh, man. Can you put railings on the stairwells? Not yet. Not without having, like, walls on either side. And that would look weird. It would look like that. So maybe not all that ideal. So it's bright, but still ridiculously cold. So we have the, there we go. The double stairs. And then these walkways need to be fixed. Is there any other crop that, non-tree crop that I skipped? Cabbage, flax, carrot, beet. I did beet, right? Yep. Barley, herb. It might be wise for me to go do a trade run to buy seeds, however, because I do have a lack of seeds. And then as soon as this cold snap breaks, I'll do some hunting to get leather, because I am definitely using up my leather trying to get armor for everybody. I like how everybody's just standing around the great room, hanging out. Might be worth me shadowing Chaotic Snow, Dr. Trouble, and... because Icarus is stuck sort of tailoring, so Dr. Trouble and Chaotic Snow to make sure that they are indeed researching, because I haven't really seen my research go up, so I'm not really sure what they're doing. A little worried that they're unproductive. Something else I could do, and I'm a little worried about raiders messing with it, is I could hypothetically put skeps out here. I'm not really sure I like the look of fences. Well, I could try it. See if there's a variation that makes it look better. But I could put skeps around the farms that I have out here, because that would be a little bit more natural than behind my walls. But behind my walls would, of course, be protected from raiders, so not really sure what I'm going to do with that. All right, let's pull on next goal. It has almost been an hour. So what should the next goal be? And these are all going to be viewer-submitted suggestions by you all. Oh, and it's officially spring. So hopefully no hailstorms that kill off our crops, and instead we actually get some productive farming in. Some of these I'm going to refund because they're duplicates. A lot of duplicates, so I'm going to pause, and there's the poll for next goal. Alright, so who is... Chaotic Snow is idle? Alright, so there's got to be something going on with the research. So these textbooks, like Dr. Trouble, I'm going to draft you and have you come over here. Why aren't you researching? Because you don't have an intellectual 15. I think that's probably it. Yeah, because he is intellectual 12. So I think what I'll do is raise the regular Chronicle up to 50 so that they can level up a bit more. Hopefully allowing them to then research higher level stuff. Because right now what's happening is Marauder is stuck doing all the leather crafting, because he's the best tailor by far. And nobody else is really doing any research because they're not smart enough. Or just the way it goes. So there are some variations here, but I'm not really sure if they're pretty. I mean, it puts something here, so I guess that's good. But I don't know. I'll put some skips in, even if they get rated. So the temperature condition hasn't been met. Oh man, it looks like a lot of my seeds got baked, got murdered. So I think what I'll do is I will do a trade run. I don't really think I have much of a choice. Speechcraft. I forgot about the dedicated leisure. I could try skeps instead of trees if they get raided in the future. We'll see how that ends up turning out. I'm just going to grab clay brick making. It's just because it only requires chronicles, so I might as well just grab it. All right, the cold snap ended, and that's going to allow me to do a whole lot of farming out here. So let's do a trade run. I am going to send a caravan out there. Thank you for tuning in to Going Medieval, which originally streamed live on Twitch May 5th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com or the description of this video have a link to Discord. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel. I'll catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell.